You already admitted that
I admitted it, but I want to
if
explain
it
to you
was
why it's
born
irrelevant. I want to
and
explain
left
to you.
alone, it would die,
Yes.
meaning there must be two adults, at least one, mother and father. The
Mm-hmm.
father protects the mother, so in my opinion, it requires two at that long
It
time of
seems
their
like
age
you're
in order to
projecting
defeat
human social constructs
environment.
onto animal species. Because, first off, right, that
No,
can be
you
true.
must demonstrate that these. No, you must demonstrate that the species that do not require allegedly, like you're saying, that do not require being raised from infancy. You must demonstrate that that's where man came from. In order to claim that man is similar to that, you must demonstrate that.
Okay, I will do that, but the thing is, you must understand that being raised from
No,
infancy
go ahead and do it.
is an irrelevant factor,
Go
and
ahead and do it.
I'm gonna explain why for a second. So the hold on, give me 1 second.
The
Yeah.
demonstration alone would
All right.
give you your argument. When you say I must first tell you this, no, you don't. If you could demonstrate it, it would tell you.
Well, the thing is, you made a claim in your argument that I'm trying to address first before we get on to a bunch of other claims. So we have to take it point by point instead of being all over the place. So the reason why I'm saying that's irrelevant is because the process of speciation still works with parents raising the children. What you said does not correlate to anything about speciation. For example, again, we could take species A. Species A lives in the forests and in the trees, right? And now that a subpopulation of that species gets kicked out into the open fields, into near water, no forests anymore.
You can't say species A. I'm not going to let you get away with species A.
Okay, we can
Tell
use
me
the
the exact species.
we can use the chilka then. They lived in the trees, right? And now they're species B. Well, the species B it's not even a different species yet. It's still the chilka, right? And now they had got kicked out of the forests. Now they needed to use more communication. They needed to have work together, make tools in order to survive because there was different predators, different environments. So hold
How
on.
did they get kicked out of the forest? Hold on. How did they get kicked out of the forest? And where did those species?
Firstly, I cannot answer to you how they got kicked out of the forest, but we have evidence of just based off a fossil record that it happened. However,
Well, you have for evolution and no, for your argument, evolution, you must tell me the first species. You can't say this species got kicked out of the forest.
Well, before we even get back, we can go. We can.
Species, and you're not telling me how those came about.
Before we even, first off, you're confusing evolution with abiogenesis. Those are two different things. But specifically,
no, you're confused. You're the one confused here, bud, not me.
Specific.
You said that this species got kicked out of the forest without telling me how the species that kicked them out of the forest came into existence. For instance, the forest itself.
That's not really relevant. Okay, well, anyways, right? So the traits that these species. Hold on. Just let me finish this one part.
A plant, a tree. These are species.
So the traits.
This species got kicked out of the forest. So how did the forest come about? Because that's life. A forest is life.
So, anyways,
life.
Photosynthesis.
How did those come
Photosynthesis. That's how the trees got here. Photosynthesis. But
So all you need is photosynthesis. You don't need to.
Well, you need some. You need oxygen. You need oxygen.
Need photosynthesis.
But anyways, hold on. This is like we're going on irrelevant. We're going on irrelevant tangents.
No, we're not.
We are. No, you're asking me how did trees get here when I'm trying to explain evolution.
Hold on.
Well, when I'm trying to explain speciation, to be specific.
You said, hold on. You said species got kicked out of the forest. Where did the forest come from?
Not relevant. Not relevant where the forest came from. It's not.
It is relevant. It is relevant. A tree is a species. It's alive.
Trees are alive, yes.
And you said it only requires photosynthesis.
I don't know. I don't know the evolution of plants and trees. No, I don't understand that. That was just me saying stuff.
Let me finish. Oh, you don't know the evolution
Of trees? No.
Only species.
Of organic. Well,
Even
trees
those
are
species
trees organic? I don't. I'm see again. I don't know. You know, like I don't know what even type of biology that is.
If we got rid of all the trees and plants, you and I would die.
That is that is correct.
And for us to live, they're required.
Yes, I do understand that process.
So you can't. You're already saying that evolution, when it started, trees or the forest.
Well, no, not when evolution started. Evolution was already going for a few billion years at this point. This is just an example of it. That's not what I said.
You don't. Without trees and plants, anything that breathes oxygen without trees and plants cannot survive. So for them to be alive, the trees must have already existed. You get my point?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't saying that the Chilcos were the beginning of evolution. I mean, maybe the beginning of modern human evolution, but not evolution. That's why I said I think you're confused with the distinction between abiogenesis and evolution.
No, in your steps of evolution, things are required. The sun, oxygen.
Okay.
Which is.
I think those are prerequisites we all can accept have existed before life. Like oxygen existed before life, the sun existed before life.
Yeah, but how did they come into existence?
How did oxygen come into existence? Are you asking me how did oxygen get here? Is that what you're asking me?
The necessity for species that breathe oxygen. Okay, that requires trees and plants. So how did the trees and plants come into existence in your evolution? Because
I don't have an accurate model to explain that.
And trees, hold on, you're cutting me off.
Mm-hmm.
You're cutting me off. In your process of evolution, trees and plants are required for that evolution. So they must be part of the evolution.
Mm-hmm.
How did they come into existence? And why would you say, I don't know, if they are absolutely a necessity of evolution?
Oh, so trees evolved from aquatic plants. There was oxygen underwater before there was trees on land. I mean, that's common knowledge.
So where did the aquatic plants come from?
The oxygen underwater. So there's hydrothermic vents under the ocean, and there's certain rocks that produce oxygen underwater.
Where did all that come from? The water, the oxygen?
The water on Earth originally came from. I think there was a period in Earth's So Earth is 4.6 billion years old. There was a period in Earth's history where it was raining.
See how this is starting? Do you see how this is regressing?
I mean, it's regressing because you just keep asking why this, why that. You're asking an infinite regression, so it's regressing because of you.
Of your species.
It's regressing because of what?
Of your evolution, your species.
I mean, oxygen isn't a species.
Regressing.
Oxygen isn't a species.
You're cutting me off again.
Go ahead.
The conversation is regressing because of the necessity of this evolution process to occur. Any land animal that breathes oxygen requires trees and plants.
Exactly, and I just explained where trees and plants came from. I just did.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. I'm almost done, but I'm not done yet.
Go ahead.
Okay, so and what you did is you said it come from underwater plants. And then my next question is another regression. Where did those come from? And eventually, what this regression is going to get to.
But I just explained where those come from.
The Bible. Hold on. It's just like the Bible, and it's nothing more than a creation story.
No. See, the thing is,
without you being able to.
Well, no. The thing
without you being able to demonstrate.
There's actual experiments and tests and actual factual evidence that shows the model that we have is correct. So I don't think it's anything like the Bible.
A model isn't real. A model is.
Do you think the model of the cell is wrong? Do you think that's wrong? That's.
Well,
do you think the anatomical one? What do you say?
No, a cell is a cell.
Do you think the anatomical model of a human is incorrect?
A cell is a cell. A model of a cell
We don't have an anatomical model of a human. We can dissect a human and label its parts.
I don't know if you've ever been in a medical room. They have anatomical models of humans everywhere. That's a very common thing.
Hold on. Don't say we.
You mean a representation?
Yeah. Have you never seen like a skeleton in like a science classroom that's labeled? Have you never seen that before?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That is reality. So that is reality. It's not a model of reality.
That's what models are.
No, models are not reality. It's easy to prove, dude. It's literally trivial to prove.
What is the distinction between a model and reality?
I'll give you an example here.
Because you can have models that make predictions. Hold on, Richard. You can have models that make predictions which come, quote unquote, through in reality, such as observations of where a planet will be in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But that model doesn't have to be physically real. We literally, with the thing you're using right now, it uses electricity that was made with Maxwell's equations. Maxwell's model to how electricity and magnetism works is a mechanical model of little imaginary rolling balls in the ether. Is that mechanical model physically real?
By real, I didn't mean as in the literal, hyperliteral sense as real. I just meant actually like it exists.
Yeah,
like the number 42. The number 42 is
actually exists.
The number 42 isn't real, but you know it exists. Like there's no physical number 42.
In what sense does it exist?
It exists as a description.
Of what?
Or ordinality or cardinality. That just means the amount of things or the order of things. I either have $42 or I'm in the 42nd place in the race. One of those two things.
So you're stacking metaphysics on top of each other.
That's
real. Here's the real part.
How am I stacking? I just said it's a description. Just said it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but there is no number 42.
I agree. I agree. There is no physical number 42.
If I was to buy $1 million house, hold on. If I was to buy $1 million house, and when I went to purchase it, I took a model of the currency, could I purchase it?
I don't get how that's relevant. No, it's not my.
Well, like in the automobile.
Yes, not my.
Even in the automobile industry, before they release a car, they make a model. They make a model out of clay.
Okay.
Now this model, you can't even open the door. You can't get in there and sit down.
I'm confused on what are you trying to justify here? Yes, models exist.
A model's not the real thing. Yes, they exist, but they're not the real thing. They're not the real thing.
Okay. So,
do you think the model of the cell is complete, Soho? You think it's complete?
I would believe so, but I do not think that our models encapsulate all that exists about cells. I feel like that's a broad statement.
That would mean it's incomplete.
Okay, sure.
Because there's things they found out just recently that they didn't know about. They find out new stuff. The more they look at the human cell, the more complex it becomes.
I mean, you understand.
They know more. They're actually going in the wrong direction. The more they investigate, the more they find out they don't know.
That's fine.
It's really going in the wrong direction.
The only thing that disproves science is better science. So I don't get. I mean, yes, that's true.
You just using science as like a buzzword.
And how's that a buzzword? The only thing, but you said they're going. They've recently found out. Who is they? The scientists? I'm confused. How's that a buzzword?
The so-called scientists, right? The people researching. So spin selectivity of cells. They recently discovered this. They didn't even know it existed, right? So now the cell has become infinitely more complex because of this quantum interaction. So when they discover
spin selectivity is not a quantum interaction.
The percentage of what they know compared to how it actually functions decreased, right? So you thought you knew 50%. Then you make a discovery and realize shit, we discovered one thing, and now we realize we didn't go from 50% to 51%. We went from 50% to 10%.
But we still know more than we did
It's all in the
previously.
wrong
But we
direction.
still know more than we did previously, right?
How do you
We,
make a
in the
skill?
sense that now we know more that we didn't know anything.
We still have gained. We still gained information. I'm